I live in a remote cabin in the woods. It's a peaceful life, but sometimes the isolation gets to me. Last night, as I was taking out the trash, I heard a flute. It was a beautiful melody, and it seemed to be coming out of the woods. At first, I just thought it was my imagination playing tricks on me, but the music grew louder, drawing me closer to the edge of the trees. I stepped cautiously into the woods, my heart pounding in my chest. The flute was getting louder, and I could hear footsteps now, crunching through the underbrush. And then I saw him. He was an old man, dressed in tattered clothes, with a white, long beard, and a weathered face. He was playing a Native American flute, the notes echoing throughout the trees. I couldn't see his eyes, but I could feel him watching me. I tried to back away, but he stepped forward, playing faster now, the notes growing more frantic. I realized too late that I was in danger. I turned and ran, my heart racing as I fled through the woods, branches clawing at my face. But I could hear him behind me, laughing and playing his flute. And then I burst into the clearing. I saw his face. It was twisted and grotesque, his eyes glowing in the darkness. And then he lunged at me. I woke up this morning with scratches on my face, and a deep sense of dread in my stomach. I don't know who that man was or what he wanted, but I know that I never want to hear that flute again. For the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every time I went outside, I felt eyes on me. And the flute music seemed to be in the back of my mind, haunting me. I tried to forget about it, but the memory wouldn't leave me alone. I started having nightmares. Ones where the old man would chase me through the woods, playing his flute all the while. I woke up in a cold sweat every time, feeling like he was just outside my window. One day while I was chopping wood, I heard rustling in the bushes. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest, and I thought I could hear the old man's flute music in the distance. I turned and ran back to the cabin, locking the door behind me. But the fear wouldn't leave me. I felt like the old man was still out there waiting for me. That night, as I was trying to fall asleep, I heard a soft tapping on my window. I tried to ignore it, but it persisted, growing louder and more insistent. Finally, I looked out the window, and there, standing in the moonlight, was the old man. He was playing his flute, the music haunting and beautiful all at once. I could see his face now, and it was even more twisted and grotesque than I remembered. I tried to shut the window, but it wouldn't budge. And then the old man stopped playing and whispered my name. I was frozen in fear, unable to move or speak. And then he started to climb through the window. I don't know how long I stood there, paralyzed with fear. But finally I found the strength to run. I grabbed my keys and fled the cabin, not looking back until I was miles away. I don't know what that old man wanted, or why he was playing that flute. But I do know that I will never go back in that cabin again. And every time I hear a flute, or even a beautiful one, I feel a shiver run down my spine. It's been years since that night. I've tried to forget about the old man and his haunting melody. But sometimes, when I'm alone at night, I can still hear it in the back of my mind. And I wonder, did that old man ever find what he was looking for? Was he trying to warn me of something? Or was he simply trying to scare me away? I may never know the answer to those questions. But what I do know is that music has a power that we may never fully understand. And that sometimes the most haunting melodies can come from the darkest corners of the world.